Now, in this session, we will see how to solve given LPP using duality principle. I repeat, in previous part, we have seen how to write the dual of given problem. Now, using duality principle, how to solve them further. Why we are converting them into dual? What is the use of dual? Okay, so sometimes given problem is difficult to solve, then we convert them into dual and we solve dual and then we correlate the answers. That's why the steps to be followed while writing dual is find the dual of the given problem. Okay, the given problem is called primal. Then convert dual into maximization because we have solved all our previous examples in the maximization method. Okay, so after converting maximization and constraint into less than or equal to type, ensure that the RHS are positive. Okay, while making RHS of the constraint positive, if any constraint is of greater than or equal to type, then use surplus variable. And we know when we use surplus variable, we use big M method. Okay, if all RHS are positive and inequalities are less than or equal to type, we use simplex method to solve. Therefore, using duality principle, we have to ensure that whether problem is solvable using simplex method or big M method. Okay, and the clue is if one of the RHS is negative while making all the constraints less than or equal to type, we have big M method, and if all RHS are positive, we have simplex method. Let's see one example on this. Using duality principle, solve the following LPP. Please make sure that you know the difference between duality principle and dual simplex method. Okay, so both are different. So using duality principle, minimize z equal to 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 6x3 subject to x1 plus x3 greater than or equal to 2 and x2 plus x3 greater than or equal to 5. So there are two inequality constraints and one minimization problem with three variables, and all variables are restricted, that they are non-negative. So this is simple to write its dual. So let's have observation that example is of minimization, so all constraints should be of greater than or equal to type. So they are already, that's why we go for its matrix. So 4, 3, 6 is your top row and 2 and 5 are your RHS of the matrix, and we have x1's quotient 1, x2 is not available here, that's why 0, and x is quotient 1. So 1 0 1 is your first row. Similarly, in second row x1 is not available, that's why 0 1 and 1 a second row. Okay, now in dual we know 4 3 6 becomes the rightmost column, 2 5 becomes topmost row, and we take transpose of this matrix, that is 1 0 1 becomes first column and 0 1 1 which was second row becomes second column. We write it dual now. So minimization Z problem becomes maximization W with two variables y1 and y2. So we have 2y1 plus 5y2. So top element will be the coefficients. Subject to three constraints will have, as the three rows are seen here. So y1 less than or equal to 4, y2 less than or equal to 3, and y1 plus y2 less than or equal to 6. So this example is of maximization and all constraints are of less than or equal to type and all RHS are positive. That's why we can solve this LPP rather dual using simplex method. Therefore, we go for, and the clue was if any of the RHS is negative, we have to use big M method to solve. Okay, so for big M method, see my previous lecture on big M method and one more lecture on simplex method. So we have standard form of this dual, that maximize W equal to 2y1 plus 5y2 plus 0s1, 0s2 and 0s3. Why these slack variables are being used? Because we have three inequality constraints. We have to add something to left side to make them equal to RHS. So what to add? We have denoted them by S1, S2 and S3, and these are known as slack variables. Therefore, they are added in S first constraint, S2 in second constraint and S3 in third constraint respectively, and that's why all equations have all the variables with 0 or 1 coefficients accordingly. So we are subject to y1 plus 0 y2 plus s1 and equal to 4, and all these variables are non-negative. We have standard form of table like in simplex method, that is basic variable. We start with all these slack variables s1 s2 s3, then CB, that is coefficients of s1 s2 s3 from objective function, xb are nothing but the RHS of the constraint, that is 436. We have all variables available here, y1, y2, s1, s2, s3. We have Cj, that is top element row. So 2, 5, 0, 0, 0 are the coefficients of all variables accordingly from objective function, and this matrix is filled with the quotient matrix of left side of constraint, that is 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 is your first row here, and similarly second and third constraint gives us second and third row. Therefore we have W calculation as 0 into 4 plus 0 into 3 plus 0 into 6, 0. So always like simplex method, we have first Z or here W value 0, and we have always this delta J row as negation of Cj row, because delta J calculation formula is, how this minus 2 has come, it is a Cb into y1, so it's a 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1, so total is 0 minus top element, that is 2, that's why minus 2. Similarly minus 5 is 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1 plus 0 into 1, total is 0 minus top element 5, that's why minus 5, and similarly all other elements in delta J row. Okay, so first primary table is very easy to fill. Now how to proceed? We have to find out minimum negative in delta J row. So the smallest negative value in delta J is minus 5. So corresponding to minus 5, this column is called key column, and corresponding variable, which is y2, is incoming variable. Incoming variable means y2 will take part in the calculation and it will replace one of the s1, s2, s3. Okay, now question is, which variable will be leaving variable and y2 will take the place of that, is nothing but the outgoing variable. Therefore how to decide it? We have last column as minimum positive ratio column, and how these ratios are obtained? These are nothing but the ratios of xb elements taken with this key column element. Okay, just we have decided key column, that is 0, 1 and 1. So 4 upon 0 gives us infinity, that's why we put dash over here. Then 3 upon 1 gives us 3, 6 upon 1 gives us 6. We put a dash for infinity and negative values, as we want only positive ratios. Okay, so minimum of this is a 3, that's why corresponding to 3 we have s2 element, so s2 will be leaving element and y2 will take the place of s2, and corresponding row is nothing but key row. Therefore we can proceed further. We have s1 as it is, s2 is replaced by now y2, and s3 as it is. Similarly s1's coefficient was a 0 in a Cj row or in objective function, y2's coefficient is a 5, s3 coefficient is 0. Okay, now how to fill this table? There is a rule. Rule is, the element which is common to key column and key row is called key element, which is 1 here. Okay, so if it is not 1, we have to make it 1 by dividing entire row by the key element. Okay, since it is already 1, we write entire row as it is in next table, that is 3, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. That's why the operation is R2 as it is. Okay, now once that key element is 1 and written in next table, we have to make row transformation to make other elements in that column 0. I repeat, using key row element we have to make other elements 0. Since first row contains already 0, we write first row as it is in next table, that is 4, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 as first row here. Okay, now it's time to make this one 0. This is 1, so R3 contains 1, and using R2 element which is also 1, we have to make row transformation, that R3 minus R2. Since new R2 is also same as old R2, that's why they are same. So we get 1 minus 1, 0 here, 1 minus 0, 1 here, 6 minus 3, 3 here, 0 minus 0, 0, then 0 minus 1, and 1 minus 0, 1. So this way this new table is also filled. Now it's time to calculate W value and the delta J row. W value's formula is 0 into 4 plus 5 into 3 plus 0 into 3, which comes to 5 into 3, that is 15. Similarly, delta j row calculation is 0 into 1 plus 5 into 0 plus 0 into 1. Their total is 0 minus top element 2. That's why 0 minus 2 is minus 2. Similarly, this 0 is obtained by 0 into 0 plus 5 into 1 plus 0 into 0. Total is 5 minus 5 is 0. Third is 0 into 1 plus 5 into 0 plus 0 into 0. Total is 0 minus 0 is 0. This 5 is obtained by 0 into 0 plus 5 into 1 plus 0 into minus 1. So total is 5 minus top element 0, that is 5 only, and similarly this 0 have obtained. Again we go for the calculation of next table because V contains one of the element still negative here. Okay, so what will be our end point? If entire delta j row is 0 or positive, we will stop because we cannot proceed further. That's why we have at least one element negative here, so we have to proceed further. So minimum negative number is minus 2 here, corresponding to minus 2. This column is a key column and corresponding variable is y1 is a taking part into calculation called as incoming variable. So key column is formed here. Now ratio is taken with the key column elements for xv. So 4 upon 1, 4. 3 upon 0 gives us infinity, that's why dash, and 3 upon 1, 3. So we find out minimum positive ratio here. So out of 4 and 3, we have 3 as minimum positive. That's why corresponding S3 is the leaving element and Y1 is incoming element. So we form next table. So S1 as it is, Y2 as it is, and S3 is replaced by Y1. Okay. Now quotients of S1, Y2 and Y1 are taken from objective functions and we form again this row transformation. I repeat, key element is 1 here, which is common to key row and key column. That's why if it is not 1, we divide entire row by key element, which is already there. That's why we write third row as it is. That's why 3, 1, 0 and 0 minus 1, 1 is also carried in next table. Now we have to make other elements in that column 0. Second row contains already 0. That's why second row is also taken as it is. But first row contains 1 at the place of key column. That's why operation will be R1 minus R3. So 4 minus 3 gives us 1 here, 1 minus 1 gives us 0 here, and all other elements accordingly. Okay, so operation is R1 minus R3. Now we calculate again W value. Then we calculate delta J row using usual method, that is 0 into 0 plus 5 into 0 plus 2 into 1. So total is 2 minus top element 2, that's why 0. The next delta J value is 0 into 0 plus 5 into 1 plus 2 into 0. So total is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Similarly 0, 3 and 2 are obtained. Okay. So as you can see, delta J row contains either 0 or positive value. We cannot proceed further. That's why we are at optimal stage. So the answer is W is 21, rather W max is 21 at y1 equal to 3 and y2 equal to 3. Okay, so this is the answer of dual LPP. I repeat, W max is equal to 21 at y1 equal to 3 and y2 equal to 3 is a solution for dual. But we are solving our primal, that is given LPP, which was in a Z. That's why those answers are coming here. I repeat, S1, S2 and S3 columns are the last 3 columns. Okay, the value under S1 column is the value of X1, value under S2 column is the value of X2, and value under S3 column is value of X3. That's why we write W max 21 at y1 equal to 3 and y2 equal to 3. Therefore Z mean is 21 at x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 3 and x3 is equal to 2. So I repeat, we get here, since it is a dual problem we are solving, we did not get answer here, we get our answer at the delta J row. We have one more example. Apply the concept of duality to solve following LPP. Maximize Z equal to 3x1 minus 2x2 subject to these 4 constants. So one thing to observe here, that question is of maximization. So all constraints should be of less than or equal to type. Okay, but we can see the third constant is greater than or equal to type. That's why first we have to multiply by minus sign on both sides. So we get minus x2 less than or equal to minus 1. But the problem is one of the RHS is negative, we have to use big M method because we have discussion further. So standard primal is maximize Z equal to 3x1 minus 2x2 subject to, now we have multiplied third constant with the minus sign. So we get all the constants in less than or equal to form. Such inequalities and this maximization problem called as standard primal. Now while writing dual, we form its matrix form. So we have 3 and minus 2 as the top row and we have 5, 4, minus 1, 6 here. Then we have quotient matrix here. So while writing its dual, we have exchanging this row and column with this and we have transpose of this matrix here, correct? So there are only two rows, that's why in result in a dual we'll have only two constants, whereas there are four columns, that's why we need four variables. So let's use y1, y2, y3 and y4. Given problem was of maximization W, we have in dual minimize W is equal to 5y1 plus 4y2 minus y3 plus 6y4. Consider this as y4. Subject to y1 plus y2 plus 0y3 plus 0y4 greater than or equal to 3. Then subject to second constraint y1 plus 0y2 minus y3 plus y4 greater than or equal to minus 2. Okay. Now the thing is, while solving, we know we always solve for maximization. So we convert this problem into maximization if we multiply objective function by minus sign. Therefore, we solve this by maximization method, but the constants are of greater than or equal to type. Therefore, we require surplus and artificial variable here. Hence, we solve this by big M method. I repeat, we have to convert this RHS into positive. So to do so, we have to multiply both sides by minus sign. So while multiplying by minus sign, we get less than or equal to type. Okay, and this problem will be converted into maximization, and for maximization we need all the constant in less than or equal to type, whereas second constant is of already less than or equal to type after multiplying by minus sign, but first is not. That's why we have to subtract something from left side, that is called surplus variable, and whenever we use surplus variable we have to use artificial variable, and when we add artificial variable we need to solve by big M method. So here it is the standard form. We multiply given objective function by minus sign, so minimization W becomes maximization W. Entire objective function is multiplied by minus sign, and S1 is required for first constant as well as the artificial variable A1 is required. That's why minus 6y3 plus 0s1 plus 0s2 and minus MA1. So minus M is the coefficient for artificial variable in objective function. That is the big M method. For details in big M method, please see my previous video on big M method. And then we have y1 plus 0 y2 minus y3 plus y4. This value is greater than or equal to minus 2. So when we multiply both sides by minus sign, we get this left side less than or equal to plus 2. So if we just add s2 there, we get equal to 2. That's why there is no artificial variable required. That's why no a2 is required for second constraint. So while writing, we have y1, y2, y3, y4, s1, s2 and a1 greater than or equal to 0. Now we have primary table from big M method. Just like previous example, we have first column of basic variable. Now one thing to note here, first constant contains S1 as surplus variable as well as A1 as artificial variable. So we have to start the calculation with variables from first constraint, that is S1 and A1. We give priority to artificial variable. So we start with A1. Whereas second constant contains only S2, so we'll start with S2. So our starting variables are A1 and S2. So we have A1 and S2 here. Their coefficients are minus M and 0, coefficients from objective function. So coefficient of A1 is minus M here, and S2's coefficient is 0. So first W value comes to minus 3M plus 0, that is minus 3M. Whereas this coefficient matrix is taken from the constant, that is 3 and 2 are the RHS of constant and all other values are the quotients of y1, y2, y3, y4 and s1, s2, a1 from the constant. So we have to decide now which variable is incoming and which variable is outgoing. So for that we calculate delta J first. Delta J rho is calculated using the formula CB into Y1, it's a sum product. That's why minus M into 1 plus 0 into minus 1. So this is minus M minus top element, that is minus 5, that is plus 5. So minus M plus 5 is 5 minus M. Similarly here minus M into 1 plus 0 into 0. So total is minus M plus 4 is 4 minus M. Third is minus M into 0 plus 0 into 1. Total is 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Here minus M into 0 plus 0 into minus 1. Total is 0 minus 6 is plus 6. Similarly all other constants. Okay. Considering M here enough large positive value. I repeat, considering M enough large positive, we have to decide which one is smallest negative number in delta J. So we know minus M and minus M is common in both of these constant, but if 5 is added and 4 is added, we know that 4 minus M will be smaller than 5 minus M. That's why 4 minus M is the smallest number, smallest negative number in this entire delta J row. So corresponding column is a key column. Corresponding variable, that is y2, is incoming variable. Once we decide key column, we take the ratio of xb with this key column elements. That's why 3 upon 1 is the 3 here, and 2 upon 0 gives us infinity, so we put dash over here. Then we find out minimum positive ratio out of these two, which is 3 only here. That's why corresponding row is a key row, and corresponding variable, which is a1, is outgoing variable. So a1 is outgoing variable and y2 is the incoming variable. That's why in next calculation table we have replaced a1 by y2 and quotient of a1 by quotient of y2 from the objective function, that is minus 4 here, so y2 and s2. Okay, since a1 has left the calculation, we have no calculation under the a1 column, so we block that column. Okay, similarly, just like simplex method, we fill the table by row transformation. That's why key element is already 1 here, that's why we write key row as it is. That's why 3 1 1 0 0 minus 1 and 0, whereas elements in that key column must be 0, which is already, that's why we also write second row as it is. So there is operation only carrying the rows further. Okay, now it's time to calculate a W and the delta J row. Therefore we have W equal to minus 4 into 3 plus 0 into 2, that's why minus 12, and we calculate delta J as minus 4 into 1 plus 0 into minus 1, that is minus 4 plus 5, that's why 1. Then this 0 is calculated as minus 4 into 1 plus 0 into 0, so total minus 4 minus minus 4 is plus 4, that's why 0. Then we have minus 4 into 0 plus 0 into 1, so total is 0 minus top element 1 is minus 1 and all other elements accordingly. So in delta J, if we have no negative number, then we are done. But we can see still minus 1 is there, that's why this is the only negative number. So corresponding to minus 1, we have key column as a 0 and 1, and corresponding variable, that is y3, is taking part into calculation for the next step. Okay, so we have ratio with these elements. So 3 upon 0 gives us dash here, that is infinity, and 2 upon 1 is the only positive ratio. That's why corresponding to 2, this row is a key row, corresponding s2 is a leaving element, and y3 is taking the place of s2. That's why we have y2 and y3. Therefore y2 and y3's quotients are minus 4 and 1 are taken from objective function. Okay, and again next table is formed. We want a key element 1, which is already, that's why second row is carried as it is. We want other elements in key column 0, which is already, that's why first row is also carried as it is. Then we calculate the W using minus 4 into 3 plus 1 into 2, which gives us minus 10, that is minus 12 plus 2 minus 10, and all delta J's using the method like previous step. So we get 0 0 0 5 4 1. Since all delta J's are 0 or positive, we are at optimal solution. So W max is a minus 10 at y2 equal to 3 and y3 equal to 2. This is the solution for dual, but we want solution for primal. That's why W max is nothing but Z mean, which is minus 10 at x1 equal to 4 and x2 is equal to 1, where x1 equal to 4 is coming under the column s1 and under the column S2 we get value of x2. So x1 is 4 and x2 is equal to 1 and z minimum is minus 10 respectively. Thank you.